Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek. You're watching Kevin the Geek and welcome back to a still game reaction, sort of. All I can say is thank you, because over the last year, since I did the final ever episode of Still Game, it has become my most viewed video by quite some distance, where at the time when we record it, over 18,000 people have watched that episode. Of course, I think the fact that it is literally viewable in complete full entirety on YouTube has probably helped with that regard. Still Game has for a long period of time always been like pretty much every video in my top 10 has always been Still Game stuff. Although recently Tim Vine, a video that I literally released only in July, that has become my third most viewed video with 7,500. But the second most popular video is still my very first reaction to the very first episode of Still Game, with just over almost 11,000 views at the time of me recording. So yes, Still Game has been an absolutely wonderful thing, and so because we are approaching within a couple of days, it's literally an entire year since I did a recording to Still Game, I thought let's do something Still Game related again, just to kind of say thank you in a little way. So what we're going to check out today is a Comic Con panel, the Aberdeen, the Scotland Comic Con hosted in Aberdeen about 3 years ago in 2022. It is a Still Game panel, so I don't know exactly who the guests are. So let's just watch and let's just hopefully have a bit of fun and maybe learn some behind the scenes stuff about the show.
Please welcome our fabulous cast. Ladies first, please welcome Jane McCary.
Of course, bring on Isla.
Looking lovely. Any seat you'd like, milady?
I've always said
Sit
I
with
would.
me, yes. Next up, please welcome Paul Riley.
Come on, Winston.
Yes. And please give a warm welcome to Gavin Mitchell.
Come on, Bobby-san.
And last but certainly not least, please give it up for Sanjeev Kohli.
No feed.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Give it up for our amazing cast.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, how's it going?
You've come to the right place. Let's just go down the line here. I'll start with you, Jane. How have you been enjoying Aberdeen Comic Con?
Oh, I've loved Aberdeen. Is this on? Can you hear? Yes, it is.
Woo!
Oh, it's good. So I've never been to a Comic-Con before, and I'm dying to have a wee nosy around the stalls, but there's so much happening round about me, and they'll tell you I am Isa. So I'm trying to see, I'm saying, what's happening? Who's ceasing? So yes, I'm loving it. I'm having a ball.
Wonderful. Lovely. And how about you? How are you enjoying the Comic Con?
Truth be told, right?
Uh-oh.
Jane's hungover. She got 2 hours sleep last night. She just can't hack it anymore. I'm having a great time, absolutely magic. And we're going to go for some food later, I believe. I don't know. And
why have food when it gets in the way of drinking? Do you know what I mean?
Because the casino's open late.
Oh, right. When you say food, you mean crisps?
Pies.
Sanjeev, how have you been enjoying Aberdeen Comic Con?
Well, it's quite special for me because this is the first time I've been led back to Aberdeen since that incident.
Oh.
And I know some of you were there, and I'm really sorry that toddler went on fire, but it really wasn't my fault. And I tried to put the toddler out with a pensioner, that just made it worse.
It happens.
No,
doesn't make you a bad person.
what
the hell is this?
It's weird.
Incident?
I mean, it's my first convention as even a punter, let alone like signing stuff. So you look up, oh, there's Chewbacca. There's a stormtrooper with a kilt. Hiya. So you just think it's Saturday, someone's put acid in my coffee. But no, it's really lovely and surreal. And you've all been lovely. Can you give yourselves a big round of applause? You've all been lovely.
Big it up for the Comic Con fans.
Except for you. No, stop clapping.
You've been trouble.
You've been horrible.
You specky.
Everyone else has been lovely. You're lovely.
Yes, a well-deserved round of applause. Well, we actually want to make sure that you're interacting with us as well. So please, if you'd like to ask a question, we have microphones on the left and the right. So please don't be shy. Come and ask a question. But a quick
Can I ask
question
you a
from
question?
me. Yes, ma'am.
Can you understand anything that we're saying?
I can. But I've been in
Oh,
England
we'll
for
soon
6
sort that
years.
out.
At first, no. At first, it was a lot of smiling and nodding. Yeah, whiskey. Scotch. Yeah, a Scotch.
What, you're on whiskey?
Haggis. I do love a whiskey.
Have you been to an orange walk yet?
A what?
Come on.
An orange
No.
Now
walk?
there's a date.
There we go.
That was an invitation. Come with me on an orange walk.
All right, sweetheart, do you fancy an orange
I've got a
walk?
medium-sized bowler hat you can wear.
Can someone explain to me in the comments what an orange walk is? If they don't already explain it in this.
I've got a big drum you can bang.
shared a full bag of fudge. I don't know how this is.
I just think you should have the whole Scottish experience. It isn't all Comic-Cons.
We're on a sugar high officially. Well, we've got a question right over here from this lovely lady.
Oh, hello.
Technical difficulties.
Hello.
So this is a question for all of you actually. I know time allows, but have any of you got a favourite episode of Still Game?
Favorite episode. Okay.
Sanjeev.
I think we all loved doing the 70s Hogmanay throwback episode
Yeah,
because that was genuinely like being in a flat in 1974. They'd sourced all the wallpaper, all the bits and bobs, all the ceramic owls, everything was properly sourced online, and it was like being in a flat in 1974, like I say, and that was a real laugh. And I also liked, from a very selfish point of view, I liked when Naveed had his midlife crisis and had the whiskey and sang The Carpenters and get carried out, having been punched squarely in the balls by Mina. Yeah, Baroka. But it tends to be moments rather than episodes. You think of moments from episodes. So, yeah.
Can I tell you, it was a body double in that episode for me. Can we just put that out there? It was a body double. And she'd had 2 puddings at lunchtime. It was damnable. I was raging, sure I was.
My favourite
Gavin.
episode. Thanks, Paul. Thanks. My favourite episode was the penultimate episode, Winston's wedding, and I love that just because it was. Selfishly, it was a nice chance for me. I got to meet Midge and Amy McDonald, and Claire Grogan, and all
No,
that.
Claire Grogan got to meet you guys.
Stop it, you. What are you like? Give me already. And and also in that episode we did the wedding in the People's Palace in Glasgow, and it was a night shoot, and there was some booze sneaking about. I must admit, I'm not going to insult intelligence. We'd had a wee drink earlier. And we had the Bluebells singing Young at Heart. So suddenly when the Bluebells started playing, everybody started dancing, not just for the wedding, but the crew as well. And so it was just a brilliant night, but it was also kind of tinged with sadness because we knew it was the last time that we'd all be together for the show. So everyone's kind of looking at each other, but realising we were kind of saying goodbye. We'd never all be together again like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
a really special night for me. And a
Keep it
special
light,
episode.
Gav.
That's what you're all doing, eh? That's cheered up your Saturday.
Well, Sanjeev kind of hoovered up my favourite episode off me, but that's fine, that's all good. But I want to give you a wee bit of inside information. I was actually at a party on New Year's night when everybody get trapped in the lift, and that's where the storyline comes from when we go back to the other way about. I can't quite remember. And so about 5 guests left our party to go to another party, as you do on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and they all got stuck in the lift. And about 2 hours later, somebody came into the living room and says they're still stuck in that lift. They had to get the fire brigade out, and then they wedged the doors open, and they all hooked them out of the lift. So not a lot of people know that.
There we go.
Are you finding that out now, Paul?
That's the first time I've heard that, actually.
Jane McCarry.
Jane McCarry, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably Cairds is my favourite episode because,
Cairds.
again, sometimes it's hard for us because it's maybe not the one that you watch on screen and say that's your favourite. It's the time that you had when you were filming it. And again, that was a time we were all in the room together, we were having a great carry-on, and it was just really good fun. So I think maybe that one for me.
I wasn't in that episode.
Awkward.
I think that's a valid thing, isn't it? You know, what you watch as a viewer will be very different to what it's like to experience it. Like I get that from Gavin, saying that penultimate episode. Like, you would have to say it's not arguably one of the better episodes, but obviously from a personal viewpoint, that makes complete sense. I struggle to think which is my favorite moment. My favorite episode. I don't know if I have a favorite episode because they're all so good. They all have such incredible singular moments that are all so good for one another. I mean, like the what was it? Was it the Hyperdales episode? That one was a great one. The Hatch episode, I remember that one being fantastic. Cairns, I do remember. I thought that one was absolutely fantastic. The whole double parter, end of series 2 to series 3, the thing with Canada, that I thought was amazing. That had some great moments. So it's so difficult. And of course, back off, you spooky bitch.
We've got a question over here to the right. Hi.
Hi, my name's Alex. I have a question for Bobby.
Hiya. Hi, Alex.
In the episode where you and Naveed switched roles in your occupation,
Oh, yeah.
did it feel weird not being in the same place you've been in for almost every single epised?
Ooh,
Yeah,
good question.
It was very strange, but it was really, really nice because I think Sanjeev and Sanjeev got out a wee bit more than me, but Bobby was always stuck in the Klansman most of the time behind the bar. So any chance I got to get out, I got a bit overexcited. So, but it was really nice to be in Naveed's because it was only till the second last series or something I ever went into Naveed's and for Naveed and Bobby to actually meet. Naveed had been into the Klansman, but I'd never been into Naveed's shop, and then to take it over was great, and to be with Mina was brilliant. It was really, really great fun. So that was brilliant for me. It was an honour to be in Naveed's. So yeah, it was great. And how did you find the Klansman?
Well, I'd been in, like you say, you had been in the shop.
But I think that was the same series I came into your show.
Yeah, that's right. It was the Bleach thing, the 70s rollback. That's
right.
I've been into the Klansman. It's actually one of my favourite scenes is when everyone's gone to Hyperdales, and I do the big speech about where were all of yous, shopping like Bosch Spice on Coke. And that was actually, it was almost like that was as Shakespearean as I've ever been, let alone Naveed. I got to do that kind of quite serious speech in the Klansman with everyone there. So that was a pretty special moment for me. So, but like Naveed, doesn't drink, what a diet. So I'm hardly in the Klansman. So to be behind the bar at the Klansman was brilliant. And I loved the bit where I got to scush Tam with the...
with the
gun.
It's always
That was
nice to give somebody a cushion.
Oh, that, yeah. Aye.
The other thing that's maybe worth mentioning is when we film the show, Sanjeev gets a fortnight off because it takes 2 weeks to film all the Klansman stuff because we do it all at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's sitting with his feet up in the Canaries.
trying to grow my beard. It takes that long.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of gets nervous about the Klansman scenes because it takes up so long. We just know we're going to be in the pub for like at least a couple of weeks. But people are like, "Oh no,
we've got to drink more whiskey."
So yeah, they're long days, the Klansman days.
Alex, thank you so much for your question. We're going to go over here to the left.
Cheers, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
I got.
Oh, hello.
Hiya.
Hey, I got a question. Is that better? I got 2 questions. So, would you ever remake a Still Game? And what's you guys' favourite quote from Still Game?
Favourite quote that we've done ourselves or from other characters?
Other characters and yourselves.
Okay.
Oh.
I always really liked the line, when the pub quiz, and what's the name of the character that comes in and that you fancy? Margot.
Thank you.
Margot.
God you're here.
Aye, yeah.
Margot. I've tried to block it out of my head because she broke my heart.
Aye. so I just come in and say that there might be some romance between Bobby and Margot, and I mean, I just love how it's written. It's like, Geert der rest Isa, he couldn't get his hole in a barrel of Fernies. And it's just I just completely threw it away like Naveed does, because that's how his delivery is. But when you think about it, he couldn't get his hole in a barrel of Fernies. It's like hip hop. It's like jazz. It's so rhythmical, and I totally just tossed it away.
I'm sure it's
in Hamilton. It is in So that was
People say it in Hamilton.
I think that was my favourite line. But they've all got lines that I love. But that's probably my favourite line that I've said myself.
Gavin.
Oh, thanks, Paul. My own favourite line is probably just simply the final line. Look who it is, isn't he?
Keep it light, Gav, I
I know.
said.
Bring everybody down again.
Breaking my heart
it's-
again.
I just really like, because it was funny, some of the people who have come over today, and there was somebody came out with a theory about that line, and everybody's got their own theories about who's Bobby talking to, or when he looks down the lens, and somebody said, because it was one of those questions that, whatever happened to Tam's Wayne? It's the classic we always get.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Somebody said today, they said, it's Tam's Wayne you're talking to, isn't it? Because that can be the only one that's still alive. And I thought, oh God, I never thought that's a brilliant theory. But everybody's got their own wee theories, and I don't like to say what mine is
We
because I like
fixed that
that it's
in the live
ambiguous.
show. Do you remember? In the live show, we fixed that because I don't know if anybody saw the last still game live at the Hydro. She then comes into the pub, and we changed the line to "Look who it isn't," right? Which meant, because we're all dead in the Hydro show, meant we were all in the Klansman the day that you delivered the last line, but we were dead.
Shows you how much I was paying attention.
There you go. I've to probably the straw poll for today would be "Shut It, Thatcher," right? Yeah. So I've heard that plenty of times. But my favourite would be "Do you mark your diary to get on my tits?"
I love when you fast forward me to the punchline. I love when he does that.
The
And
end,
somebody says,
mind.
The end, mind.
Yeah.
Right. Billy McIntosh is dead. But I think, because Isa always gets a hard time, and she's not a bad old soul, and I always fight her corner when we get the scripts, or when we did get the scripts. But I think probably for me, my favourite was when I say, with the Act 2, with the Julius Caesar, and she goes, Act 2, I never ate 2 of anything.
I forgot about that one.
She was just being a good soul in the place, not really doing anything wrong. So that's probably my favourite line.
One of my favourite lines, I stole it by mistake. So when we first get our scripts, before we film a series, we do what's called a table read. Literally sit around a table, like one of Vladimir Putin's massive tables. and we just read the script. Am I cancelled for saying that? And we sit
Put your
around.
hand through the microphone.
We sit around with they're all distancing themselves. So we sit around when we read the scripts, and that's the first time that we, hear the lines ourselves. And it was the episode where, now let me get this right, Jack was going out with Barbara from the charity shop.
Oh yeah.
And Victor's come in to say that that she's married. So she says, and we interrupt him, and I say, what's he, a junkie? And then who's it says it's a stripper? And then the line is firing ping pong balls out of her duff, bang, bang, bang. Now, see, thing is, in the actual script, that wasn't my line. I misread that was my line. I just by mistake read it, firing ping pong balls out of her duff, bang, bang, bang. And lo and behold, when we got to the actual set, I had the line. I thought I must try that again. I've taken it by mistake, but I wasn't meant to say that line. But that was good.
That's something that's very easily done. When I do a show and I do script reads, the amount of times, even though I highlight my lines and everything, I will miss my own lines, or I'll someone else will read one of mine, whatever. It gets so confusing. It's so easy confusing. I think what I love with this is there is so much that I have completely forgotten, but the moment they've mentioned it, I have literally completely remembered it. I need to go back at some time, and I need to rewatch this show, because I'll tell you what, there is something just unbelievably amazing about this show, and the little nuances. And I love how you could tell that these are such good friends. You like some of these kind of things. You think, oh, I've got to go to one of these events, and I've got to be with this person I don't really get along with. These have a genuine love for one another, and I love that. I think it's just a shame that they never released the final stage show. That would have made so much sense for them to kind of give, because they mentioned it, didn't they? They just mentioned it there about how it sort of played out. If it does exist out there, please someone send it to me, because I cannot find it anywhere.
Good question. We're going to go to a question on the right.
I'm Sophie, and have you actually ever worked the jobs that you worked in when you were on set?
That is
Good
a
question.
brilliant question. Well, I've worked behind a bar, because sometimes I help behind the Klansman. I have worked behind a bar. and I haven't ever worked in a shop.
You did used to clean at a school, though. Remember? No, she never used to clean a school.
I didn't clean in a school. No.
You can trust her.
No, I think the only one would be behind the bar for me, but never in a shop. Oh, I did work in a shoe shop for a wee while, though, but does that count?
No.
I'm not sure if that counts.
I'm sure it does. I think my former job, as alluded to in the show, is working in the shipyards, and that comes from my father, who was a shipbuilder.
Oh, okay.
And so Ford and Greg just took that and they transplanted it, and so he was dead proud of being a shipbuilder when he was working. So that was my former occupation.
Nice.
I just remember it anyway.
Aye, no, absolutely. No, I've never
Gavin.
worked. I've drank in lots of bars, but I've never actually worked in one.
I worked
Shocking.
in one. I got fired after the first night.
I was
bet you
literally,
did.
by the end of the final series, one of the prop guys, because sometimes the boys never ever timed how quickly you pull a pint of beer and serve it and things like that. So it never worked in real time. So I would have pints under the bar and I would top them up and try and time it and things. So I just had to listen closely and take my own timing. But by the time we did the final series, there was one day when I had my lines. It was a big long scene, people coming in and out, and I poured a pint in real time and put it down at the right point, and I was like, yes! It's taken me nearly 20 years to do that. But I was quite
secret,
chuffed.
right? There was one tap in the Klansman that was real beer.
Yeah.
And so we would tip him the nod about 4 o'clock. Come on. And we'd all get a pint.
There was also one bottle of real whiskey.
Oh, was there?
Yep.
I never knew
I didn't.
There's a reason
many
why.
people told about that. But aye, in fact, we saved that for the guests sometimes. And Paul Young, whenever Paul Young finished, who plays Shug, he would finish and he'd give us a wee wink, and I'd go and get my real whiskey and go, there you go, Paul. Whenever he
Nice.
when he'd finished a series.
We
Nice.
also had a can of Diet Coke in the Winnebago, right? But
Oh.
but it gave you an electric shock when you touched it. And everybody who would come onto the show, they would come in, they would come away and come on and go, can you pass me that can? And that was them. They loved it after that.
But when we did first start filming Still Game, it was a real bar. It was a bar in Mary Hill.
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
there was bullet holes right along the gantry. And you'd be filming and gangsters would burst in and go, oh, sorry, and just leave. So it really genuinely was dangerous. And
What
that's
about
why they had to build the set of the pub. And there was an extra.
I was going to ask you if you were going to no, I was going to ask you if you were going to say it. Go.
Also,
Go on,
there was an
keep talking.
extra, and he had.
This is gross, by
This
the
is
way.
horrific. He had to play pool. So when you're filming 12 hours a day. So he was holding the pool stick, bored, and fell asleep on the pool and popped his eye out.
Oh!
I told you it was gross.
Aye.
Oh!
Your money back.
And then a dog ate it. No, that didn't happen. Sorry, it didn't happen.
shoved it
Claudia,
back
that
in.
didn't happen. Are you going to be sick?
Claudia Wells,
By the way,
ladies and
Claudia
gentlemen.
from Back to the Future, everyone.
Hey!
She is next up on our Q&A panel. so
Who's
stay
never
tuned
seen
after
Still
this
Game,
one.
and she thought we were going to give you education there. So you've had a smattering. So it's all on Netflix.
He's saying.
Are you speaking
he's saying,
English?
Are you
It's not
enjoying
translated.
yourself? He's saying he's hoovering all your money from the stalls. That one.
There we go.
Oh, you heard that, all right?
Here's what she wants to hear.
Oh yes, you've all to follow Claudia on TikTok. What's your
Yes.
handle? What's your name on TikTok?
Handle.
I don't know.
Claudia Wells Official on TikTok. Brand new to
She's got
TikTok.
13 followers, so she really needs a boost.
We will definitely discuss. Oops, selfie, everybody. Woo! We will definitely discuss Claudia's TikTok, and don't go anywhere after this panel ends because it'll be Claudia's turn. But we're going to get back to the questions. Thank you, Claudia.
Oh, so I love that about the pub. So the original, so the very first year it was a real pub. So then they because I don't remember it ever looking any different. So I'd have to go back and I'd have to actually have a look at what it looks like between like series 1 and series 2 or even later. So did they literally remake it like pretty much bang for bang so that it literally didn't look any different? That's mental. I never knew that.
Here's a question on the left.
Hi, my name's Kevin, and
Kevin?
Who
did you not like working with?
Kevin, wow.
That's the kind of
See,
question I
Good
would ask.
question.
For the most part, I mean, we all get on really well, but
What?
But when the drinking starts,
Aye. Round about
But-
9:30 in the morning once we're drunk.
I mean, you're getting nice Gavin now. Okay, this is nice sober Gavin, but when he's had 3 or 4 triple Glenmorangies of a
Like I
Tuesday,
said, about half 9 in the morning.
no, genuinely, like the core cast all get on really well, and all the guests that have come in have been really nice as well. Like Robbie Coltrane, Kevin Waitley. Well, I actually never got to meet him, but he was meant to be a sweetheart.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Craig
yeah.
Ferguson was
Craig
amazing.
Ferguson was lovely.
He was brilliant, actually.
I can honestly say, without lying, that we actually all got on really well, and it was a real laugh to go into your work. I mean, because like we used to film in, was it February? Really horrible dark mornings, and we're all in really early to get the makeup on. I was in the makeup chair 1.5 hours, getting that beard glued on, getting my hair glued back, getting a wig pinned to me, getting the stuff on our face that dries to look like wrinkles.
Trying
It's
to
really
do Troy's videos.
Oh no, Gav, you got on really well with your partner.
Yeah, that was a scary person to meet. No, you couldn't really have anybody bad on set or anybody that you didn't get on
wasn't
well
any
with
egos,
because
Gavin.
it was because it had to be fun. I think that's what makes it successful in a way, is the kind of fun that everybody was having and having a laugh, and that's what kind of works and comes over, I think. And also for the people to come in, that we had to make it comfortable for people because it's quite intimidating for a lot of people to walk onto Still Game. They get quite uptight. They were walking into this big thing for them, and you know what?
Yeah, I mean,
how do they fit
imagine joining the Spice Girls. How hard that would be.
It is.
As the
I
six
was
Spice
in the
Girls.
Spice
Are you
Girls
comparing
for
yourself to
years.
You were
Spice
asked
Girls?
to join the Spice Girls, how hard that would be. That's what it's like walking onto the set of Still Game. So we
Talking
have to be
about-
really nice, don't we?
Yeah, on the subject of working with people, right? The 4 of us here, right? This is not a trick question, by the way. Who out of the 4 of us has worked with Robin Williams?
Oh, I'm going to go with Gavin.
She just pointed an empty bottle at you. Maybe she's going to launch it. I don't know. The answer is 2 of us.
2 of us.
Ooh.
Me and him. It went straight to video. Don't worry about it.
But also,
I've
also
worked
we
with
are-
both Crankies. Both Crankies.
So's Jane.
And so have I.
can I just tell you that although that we are all good friends, there was a lot of minxing that was carrying on all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a Coke can, it was non-stop. And this shin here, when Mark Cox had just split up with his girlfriend, and he'd gone and got himself, can we say fanny magnet? It was a fanny magnet, right? It was some fancy sports car, right? So he was driving about and he was showing off and he was taking the makeup girls out in his car. This shin, when Mark was on set, it was you.
It wasn't me. Anyway, carry
Well,
on.
it was your Ford. Went over to a garage and got a Reggie plate to make for Mark's, the back of Mark's car. And for 2 days, he was driving about with that Reggie plate. I don't know, is there children? Can we tell them what it said?
Please.
2 days, ball bag. So that's your pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to know if there's ever any romance
I've never
on
done
set.
that.
Well, we are amongst royalty because we have a princess to the right that would like to ask.
Oh,
a
it's
question.
Princess Amelie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, are you going to go to Prince Philip's memorial?
Wow.
Beyond inappropriate.
Perfectly legitimate question.
Yeah.
Harry's not going. Meghan's not going.
Sign of respect.
I'm sorry. What's your question, darling?
Jane,
Yes, darling.
what is your favourite princess and why?
Ah, great question.
Favourite princess? Princess Anne. No.
Jane was working with Princess Anne yesterday.
Princess Anne, yes. No, my very favourite princess. Do you mean like a Disney princess? Oh, I don't know. Who would that be? Cinderella's not a princess. Who's a princess in Disney? Help. Help.
Yeah.
You can't ask the answer.
Oh,
Belle.
was Belle a princess?
She becomes a
She
princess.
becomes a princess. Okay, maybe Belle. Maybe Belle. Is she a
Baby
princess?
Belle.
Baby Belle, the cheesy princess.
Cheesy princess.
Princess of cheese. Baby Belle.
I
Oh,
also
that's
said
such a-
why.
What, darling?
I also said why.
Oh!
Sorry, yeah, just answer
love
the
that.
question, Jane.
Get your money's
I'll
worth.
Love
tell
that.
you why. Because
She's a nice snack in the mid-evening, isn't it? So you're not hungry enough for a full meal.
Sandra's wee girl is called Belle.
Yes.
So I think it's because she doesn't judge by appearances and she reads lots of books and she...
She's making it up, everybody.
Bullshit alert.
A kind heart, like you.
More than that.
Excellent
Oh,
question.
come on, have a word with yourselves. Applaud.
Her brother Harrison, am I right, says she is the kindest heart
You've
of
even
anybody's
bored her. She's
ever known.
away. She's given up, Jane.
delightful.
She could smell the keek coming out your mouth.
Oh my goodness. We're going to go to the left with a question over here.
Oh my
please.
God.
Hiya.
Here we go.
Hiya, my name's
You just
Tyler.
said shut it, Tadge, at me about an hour ago.
You better not say 2 pints ship to me.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have.
You'll be out that door.
My name's Tyler, and my question's already been answered, but what's your second favourite line?
Oh.
Oh.
Or even your least favourite?
The least favorite. I remember when I said it, it was the sort of thing that people were asking me to say, and it was, "Mind check the cell by date to cells alive full of fusty fish." I quite like saying that. That was quite good fun.
Right, I'll go. So I'll split the line with you, right? I'll start it and you finish it, right? I run a tight ship.
No, a shite tip.
That was a very good one.
Yeah.
His naughty, naughty
Watched that
grandson.
episode last night, actually.
Now,
Wow.
we're pushing the boundaries of taste here a bit with you, Tyler. But let's try it. You're fairly putting on the beef, Jack. Do you remember what comes next?
That's because every time
Because every time I shag your wife, she makes me a sandwich.
Oh, no.
I forgot about that one.
Holy moly.
Sorry, Tyler.
I watched that episode last night. I actually watched that.
That one goes out to all the kids.
There you go. That's
Happy
Princess Amelie. There you are.
We've come a long way from the princess question, haven't we?
Yeah.
Very
Sure
far.
have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Cheers, Tyler.
We've got a question on the right.
Oh.
Hello, my name is Reese. My question is, what's all your favourite characters except from yourselves?
Oh. I think we all probably like the same character, actually. Well, certainly I think Sanj and I do. I love Isa. Isa's my favourite character because I just think, I can't believe she's here because I can't stand her as a person.
I mean, as a person, she's
as a
horrific.
person, she's a horrific person.
Oh,
but I love Isa.
Actually evil.
Evil. Give me Putin any day. But no, I love Isa. 'Cause I think Jane's amazing, and things like there's a scene where Jack and Victor are going out to celebrate their friend's anniversary. That they've been together as pals for so many years, and Isa comes into the lift and figures out where they're going.
Oh,
and she
yeah.
does it in such a roundabout way, and only Isa can. And that happened because the episode was too short at the time, and Ford and Greg had to come up with something to fill out the time, and they didn't want to do anything. So they kind of went, Jane. So they wrote this speech and gave it to Jane, and Jane, I think you only had minutes basically to learn that. It was really, really fast, and went in and did that speech, and people love that speech, and it's beautiful and perfectly done, and it's just the way that Isa explains things and
apparently
the
it's only one
details in her
take as well.
speeches I love and stuff. I just love her. I think she's great. So yeah.
Oh.
I said Isa, Jane, no you.
I'm going to go Isa as well, because not because of the dynamic that the two of us have. It's just a brilliant device that anything just makes Winston flip out, right? But her especially. And you know that we were talking about that when you fast forward and you get to the punchline or that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it would definitely be Isa for me as well. 2 down, 1 to go.
Well, obviously I love Isa, but I think the most sort of underrated character is Tam.
Yeah.
And I think he always cracks me up. Mark Cox is a very, very funny human being.
Yes.
Anyway, and I think Tam, because Tam and Naveed have got a sort of relationship, like going to the cash and carry together, quite homoerotic. So Mark and I have had lots of scenes together, and it's always a joy working with Mark. So I'd go with I'd say it's a dead heat between Tam and Isa.
Well, I couldn't say between any of you guys because I just genuinely
No,
couldn't.
Jane, pick one of us.
No, I genuinely couldn't. Because
Pick one of your wings.
Jane.
Pick one of your wings.
Jane.
we do
Would
have
have been
a really
number
good
3.
relationship, don't we?
Blind date.
We've had great scenes together in the Big Lovey, and when we had to do our kind of fake sex scene in the bed,
Jesus.
we laughed till we cried, and he rolled off the bed because we laughed so much and jammed down the side of the bed, and we couldn't get him out from the side of the bed. So we had so many good times, and Gavin, I've always said it's like Isa and Bobby are. I feel like he's my son. Because my son Colin, you never see him. He's not good to me. He doesn't look after me. So we always felt like we had a really close bond.
Yeah.
And then of course Naveed and Isa. So we've had our wee woohoos as well over the years. So will they, won't they, will they, won't they? So we've had lots of lovely scenes and really close stuff as well. So I honestly couldn't say with you guys. I wouldn't be fair to say, but the one person I think lights up my life when she comes on set.
Yep.
Is Shamshad, who plays Mina. Doesn't she though? We hear her laugh coming. Like, see if it's like a big studio and you hear her laugh from over there, and then you'll smell pakora or naan bread. She would bring us in homemade naan bread, and we would go.
Can we just stress that she made the bakora and naan bread? She doesn't smell
Yeah.
bakora and naan bread.
No. She would make it, and we
Thank
would
you.
go, oh yes. So she did. She made us laugh every day, and she's like one of the nicest people in the world, isn't she? So for that reason, I will say Mina.
And also, Mina did get to say some properly outrageous things.
She did.
When you see the lines translated in English, basically Ford and Greg will give her the line, and she'll translate it. So this happened once, right? So do you remember the episode where Jack invited to get the car? The Skoda.
Oh, yeah.
So they come into the shop, and they say they've got a Skoda. And I say, that's no much of a Fernie Magnet. And then Mina does the line, we know who the real Fanny is, okay? So they've given her the line, we know who the real Fanny is, and she's gone off to translate it. So the day we're filming, Shamshad is pacing up and down. She's sitting on her head. She says, what is it? I can't see the line. I can't see it. I can't see the line. I said, what's the matter? And the problem is, right, there is no real word for Fanny in Punjabi, right?
Right.
Because obviously Fanny means what it means, right? But it also means idiot, numpty, glaikit, ne'er-do-well.
Uh-huh.
There's no equivalent idiomatics in translation in Punjabi. The word that means Fanny means...
Sports come in.
It's basically sort of gynecological. And she said, if I... Oh, Tuzen, hey!
You owe me a tenner.
Get out of my shop, you thieving pedal pen bastard.
Mickey was much better than you. Beat it.
One robot in the shop at any one time, thank you.
Out your arse.
Out!
Out!
That was amazing.
Well, that will never happen again.
No.
Ruined my anecdote, you wee pedal bin. So she said, I can't say this word. And I said, you're right, you can't say that word. You will get hunted. So she said, what will I say for Fanny? I said, okay, just say Punani, because that's what Ali G says, and it doesn't mean anything. So go home tonight, go on Netflix, find, what's the episode called? Is it Brief? The car? And she says Punani, and it doesn't mean anything, and it means that's why she still got a visa, frankly.
Oh, I never knew that. Oh my God! I'll tell you what though, that all that story that just reminds me. I worked with a woman, Bex. My God, that woman. Oh, she was very 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 similar. She was a more elderly lady who was of Indian ethnicity. She was literally everyone's mum. In the workplace, she was everyone's mum, the most wonderful, wonderful woman. I loved working with her, and you always knew when you were having a bit of a downtime, she'd just She'd just beckon you over. She'd open up her drawer. She'd get out one of her like her samosas or her bhajis that she always made. Always brought them in, and it's like, you know how like your nan might like give you like milk and cookies, you know, when you're feeling a little bit down, you know, that was Bex. She would do that, but we were like with an onion bhaji or a samosa or whatever it was that she had made that day, and it was always the most wonderful thing, and it was like giving the most biggest hug you could ever hope. So shout out to Bex. I love Bex. I have missed her so much that I don't work with her anymore.
Love it. We've got a question on the left.
Hi, which big star would you love to have seen in Still Game that never appeared?
Ooh, very
There was
good.
people who were meant to appear and sadly it didn't happen. Peter Kay was meant to be on an episode, unfortunately. And then he, at the last minute, he couldn't do it. That would have been great. I'd have loved that.
There's so many musicals like people in bands and stuff, which thankfully you got to meet, like Amy and Midge and all that. Jim Kerr's a massive fan.
Yeah, a lot of musicians love it, and they take it in the tour bus and stuff like that. So you find a lot. Strangely, we talked about this before, that the Foo Fighters really love Still Game.
Yeah.
And it was because one of the Foo Fighters went out with a Glasgow girl, and she passed on Still Game to them, and they started watching it in the tour bus. And the next thing, the Foo Fighters were massive Still Game fans. So
Lady Gaga likes Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Really?
I don't know, but
Anyway.
I would love Billy Connolly to even know what Still Game
I was
is.
going to say Billy
I would love for him to even know who we were, let alone, you know. But imagine Billy Connolly and just
that
coming
would have
into the
been
shop or into the
incredible.
Clansman. How amazing would that be?
That would have been
and I think
incredible.
Sean Connery had seen it as well. Was about
Well, Peter Kay was meant to be. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, aye. So Peter Kay came to see the live show. He was meant to be in it. That would have been amazing. So Sean Connery does know the show then?
He did know the show. And also Robin Williams, I took over a copy of the first series, a Still Game, and he saw the show and really he loved it, because he knew Paul and I, so he was like, oh yeah, that's Paul and stuff, and so he loved it. Yeah.
He said to me, we finished filming and we all got these tiny wee business cards, they look like After Eights, right? And there was a handwritten phone number on the back. And he says to me, because he was going over to LA, he said, do you think I should phone it? And I went, definitely, get it phoned. And he phones the number. Hello, I'm looking for Robin. This is Robin. And you can take it up from there.
Well, it was fun. I blew him out 5 times.
I hope you waited 10 minutes between each time.
Steady. Overheard in a car park after midnight. And for various reasons, I didn't see him, and then eventually we arranged to meet, and it was just bonkers. So I visited Robin a couple of times, but it was just, well, it was wild when we met him anyway. But he was always very generous, and when he came over here, he invited me up to Billy Connolly's and things. But I never went because I was just far too shy. I just felt, oh my God, there was all these people, Steve Martin and Robin Williams.
Gav, you would have made an arse of it, be honest with yourself. You'd have got really drunk and stripped off.
Doug steaming or something like that. What about this, Robin? Is this funny?
Lighting your own farts. Sean Connery like that. Who invited him? Who invited him?
That, I think, would be like one of the biggest compliments. If you manage to make Robin Williams laugh, that is the kind of thing that you could go, no, I could go to my grave with that. Like, you could tell your grandkids, you know that man who was in everything, the most amazing comedian of all time. I made him laugh once. Love that. That would have been amazing.
And another question ruined for you.
No. Paul and Jane. Who would you like to have starred in
I
Still
would have said
Game?
Billy Connolly as well.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Billy Connolly for me too.
I'm shocked he never did.
The end.
Thank you. I wasn't sure how to transition from that physical comedy going down on there. We've got a question on the right. Hiya.
Hi, me and my big brother love Still Game. I was going to ask Paul, what do you think of the dynamic between Winston and Stevie?
Oh,
Stevie.
So you're obviously not old enough to gamble yet, right? But you'll
Please don't.
You ask anybody who's over 18, they'll tell you the dynamic between any punter and a bookie, because they are really. Any bookies in?
Former bookie.
Horrible people.
It's a Saturday.
No.
It's a Saturday, that's right, aye. No, it's a great dynamic, but the other really good thing about it is Matt Costello. He's a brilliant actor as well, and he's got great comic timing. And if if I can think of one example off the top of my head, it would be when he puts the pens into
Oh,
the thing.
genius.
And it ends right on my punchline where I swear, obviously. And the two of us just got it like that. I think we did one take or something. I can't remember, but that kind of goes round the clock, and then the very last one before Winston really loses the rag and the hat comes off and all that usual. So no, it's great fun to be doing that. And obviously, anytime Winston loses the rag, people love it. Do you know
Also,
what
I think Matt is an angel of a human being. He's a really lovely guy with a really good energy. So
Yeah.
when he plays a badgin, I think you get more value somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then he had to shave his head, poor guy.
Oh, God, yeah.
To come back as his brother. No, it was hilarious, man.
And
No, he's a lovely guy.
It was a shame because they never finished the scene in time when he shaved his head, because he's like, how long do I have to look like this for? And for some reason, the weather or something, we never finished it in time. So he had to walk around with a shaved head for another couple of weeks. And he said he went for a curry with his wife and and had to wear a woolen tammy all the time so they wouldn't see his wee bald bit he'd shaved. And he said just sat there with a tammy on, eating a curry, just sweating. His wife going, oh, God. Poor man had to walk about with a shaved head. Yeah.
We've got a question on the left.
I've got two questions. This for a whole cast. What was the hardest episode of Still Game to film, and your favourite two-punch jokes?
Wow.
That's for you, Gav. That's the good one, I think.
I think I dressed up with Tyler, really. my favourite look. I like. There's some. They're rough. Some of them would say out loud, I'm afraid. I'll maybe come back to that. But I like Ty.
The sandwich one's the one that's quoted to you the most, isn't it?
Yeah, the sandwich one is the one that everybody kind of loves. You know, you've put on the beef jack. It's probably my favourite. Hardest episode? I don't know. For me, probably the hardest one when we went in the water with the car. That was quite tough. Just because we were in the water an awful long time, to be honest, and it was pretty cold.
Sorry,
Not many minutes to work. I can't remember
we
which
did
one that one was.
There was an episode we played the Neds at golf, and they bury us in the bunker.
Oh, yeah.
And so we came back for lunch. I remember this. We came back for lunch, and there was 2 coffins. So what's the deal with the coffins? Oh no, you get into the coffin, and then we put the coffin in the bunker, and we cover you with sand up to your neck. So that whole scene, when you look at it, we're actually sitting and lying in 2 coffins with sand up to our neck. Not a lot of people know that.
Oh, nice. I like.
Have you kept the coffin, Paul, for right, when you need it?
I got it at knockdown price. I've grown out of it, but.
Aye.
Every one
Mahogany, brass handles, very reasonable. One careful owner.
You get that coffin? Oh, I got it at Comic Con in Aberdeen now.
A signed picture of Jet and a coffin.
Do you take coffins? Aye.
On my first whistle.
A wee story about coffins there.
Ah, there you go. And I'm bringing it down.
We've got a question over here on the right.
Bobby, 2 pints prick.
There we go.
Someday to do it.
So obviously, you have all became massive household names in Scotland. Does that make your life a nightmare going about your daily business? Do you get a minute's peace when you go to the shop
Good question.
and stuff like that?
I mean, it's not Beatlemania. Do you know what I mean? It's we can do. I mean, the thing is, we're lucky in that I've always said that I can't help noticing that you're wearing a football-related garment there, right? So if you're from Glasgow and you're a Rangers Celtic player, half the town loves you, half the town wants you in the ground. Okay. We're lucky enough that probably 95% of people like the show, so people are generally nice and mostly polite. Maybe on 3 or 4 occasions have people been arseholes. I remember there wasn't even that much of an inconvenience, but I'd taken my son to a soft play area, and I, as I do, I nodded off, like just doing the crossword, nodded off, and I woke up, someone was filming me. And I thought, A, what were you hoping to do with that footage? And B, just wait till I wake up and then get a selfie. But why would you film me sleeping? But
you're right. So you get that very, very rarely. I was, I sometimes get a bad back, and I was in Curlers in Byers Road, and I was talking to a fella. My back was really sore, so I'm rubbing the bottom of my back, right, like this. I'm rubbing the base of my spine, and then I get home and I'm on Twitter, and somebody's taking a photo of me, and it said, "I'm glad I never shook your hand." They never even came and said hello. They just went like that and they fucked off. I never said that. Turn that camera off.
Gavin, tell that story when you were in, was it a charity shop in Mount Florida, and you overheard people talking about you? That was a great story.
It's no, don't build it up, Jane. It's not that great a story, folks. No, I was in this charity shop just looking at stuff, and I overheard this woman behind me talking to the woman at the counter, and she was saying, "Oh, I've seen a lot of, apparently there's quite a lot of famous people live about here in Mount Florida and stuff, and that Peter Mullen and blah, blah, blah." And this woman said, I saw that, I wouldn't have recognised them, but I saw the guy, it was the kids recognised them, my two boys saw him in the co-op across the road, and it's the guy that plays the barman at a still game. And I'm standing there with my back to him, and I thought, God, that's me she's talking about. And I heard her say, he's a right miserable bastard.
You swore as well.
No, I went, but and I went, what? And I vaguely remembered that I was just in this shop and I was looking at the freezer bit, just putting stuff in a basket, and these two wee boys, tiny tots, appeared and looked up at me, went, "Hiya," and I went, "Hiya." That's all that happened, but it had now spun into what a miserable bugger I was. They were talking as if it was in the shop. I was standing like that, and I thought, what do I do to turn around and go, "Hiya, you all right? You having a nice day?" But I just walked out the shop like a crab, like that, with my back to everybody, like, oh no, they think I'm a miserable bugger. So,
and now you're a miserable bugger that walks like a lobster.
That's what that looked like, didn't it?
The house that I've got now has got a glass-fronted door, right? It's just a big pane of glass. Nothing untoward about that. And then, around about midnight one night, it was a Saturday night, I came out and it was like The Shining, there was two wee boys in the other side of the glass, looking in at me like that, right? and I was like, this isn't the best experience, but as I say, they're few and far between. And I went, what's going on? And I opened the door, and they said, we've got a chicken curry here for you. Right? I said, I never ordered a chicken curry. No, we know you didn't. But the guy who normally delivers the chicken curry, he's our uncle, and we've come through for Edinburgh. Did you not know this? No. We've come through for Edinburgh to give you a chicken curry, and I was like, what am I going to do? I said, come on in. And they went, oh, yeah! And the ma comes in, she's steaming, right? Hey! They've come all the way from Edinburgh. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Did some photos with them and did some signatures, and I was like, could you kindly just let me get in my bed? Did you eat the curry? Of course I did.
You ate the curry?
That's
straight into the bin. This happened actually before Still Game, before I was even vaguely sort of D-list celebrity, right? I used to present a show called Network East, right, which sounds like a railway franchise. It wasn't. It was a magazine show aimed at the Asian community in Britain, right? So it meant I was famous. I was brown famous. Do you know what I mean? So if I went to Inverness, Asians would recognise me in Inverness. So if I went to Birmingham, Asians would recognise me in Birmingham. So I'm in, I think it was in the Top Shop in Oxford Street. It was in London anyway, right? And I was having a look at a belt, right? And a guy just totally sidled up to me. I didn't even see his feet moving. He kind of like drifted over. Like he was on like wheels. And I thought, I could tell he was staring at me. And the thing was, I wasn't used to having any kind of celebrity status at this point. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's recognised me, so I'll just kind of go over there and look at his shirt. He pops up again, looking at me. Went to lingerie, he followed me there. So I think he's definitely following me, right? So I go back to the belts, and he's there again, and eventually, after about 5 minutes, he plucked up the courage to speak to me, and he says, "It's you, isn't it?" I thought, well, technically speaking, yes, it's me. But, do you mean Network East? It's you, present Network East? I said, yeah. Wow. What are you doing here? I said, buying a belt. He said, you have to buy your own belts? I said, yes, it's Benson's day off. Yes, I buy my own belts. What did you think? So that was the spin-off.
Right.
I buy my own belts. Did you think? Yeah, he says, wow. So where's your bodyguard? And to this day, I really regret not saying, he's by the door. No sudden moves. But even before Still Game, this guy thought I'd have a bodyguard. It's weird that people would think, I mean, I'm a normal kind of guy. I sleep, I shite. I eat a 73-finger Kit Kat. I'm a normal guy, you know. We're all normal people.
I think as well that you guys get recognised more than me because of the hat and the wig.
Jane, tell the story of when you had a cough.
A cough?
Oh,
please.
No. Well, this is true, right? So the very first ever episode we did of Still Game, and so I had just had a baby and I was breastfeeding, right? So Sanj, I would like give the baby to him or to Shamshad, and then we'd be filming it and he'd be like that, Jane, and be lactating into my penny. It's absolutely disgusting, right? It was terrible. So anyway, I was tired and like now I've got the cold, and so nobody knew the show, nobody knew anything. And I was feeling absolutely miserable, horrible flu cold. And one of the runners took me to a chemist at lunchtime. So I'm dressed as Isa, and I went in and I said to the girl, my throat was like that. And I said, excuse me if you get anything for a really sore throat and a cold. And she says, oh, she's waiting, I'll see you, darling. And then I said, oh, and I'm breastfeeding. Dressed as Isa. So she went round the back of the chemist, 3 wee heads popped round like that. And then she came back, this is Glasgow, so kind as well. And then she took a bottle off the shelf. Of course, it says on it, do not take it breastfeeding. The runner came back in and at that point said, we really need to get you back now. And she went, oh, thinking it was still like a home or something. Gave me the bottle, wouldn't take any money, and she went, oh, darling, look after yourself. Which is so sweet. But yeah, that is true. So it was kind of strange because I was only 31 when we were doing it, so when we were playing these old people. But I remember as well, before we came back to do the first live show, and we'd all been doing different jobs, theatre jobs, telly jobs, and I teach as well. And I teach in different schools, and I teach kids with additional support needs as well. So I was working in this school, and it was a very Catholic school in Glasgow by chance. And when the boys said that they wanted to come back and do the show, they wanted to put me naked on the side of the city chambers. Now, why Isa would be naked on the side, I don't know, but they wanted to do a big publicity stunt where it was the full size of the city chambers. So I'd go in and say to the head teacher, would you mind if I'm naked on the side of the city? And he went, yes, I would. I said, I'll need to go then, I'll need to resign. So that was the end of that.
The swearing seems like nothing new, didn't it, after that story?
Wow.
Really
I like taking
traumatised
pensioner.
you. Like stories we're told.
Great question, thank you. We're going to take a question from the left over here.
My name's Connor. I've got 2 questions for you. The first thing is, what was it like filming the episode where Blighty's hardest boozers were filming in the Klansman? And how much creative freedom were you given?
I can't hear, darling, sorry.
And how much creative freedom were you given during that episode?
It was brilliant fun. Just because we were talking about this recently, that there's that bit in Blighty's Hardest Boozers when he comes back to the pub and we've tried to make it look crazy and look, this is mental. And there's a guy with a condom over his head, blowing it up, and there's a dog going, hur, 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 in and out the frame, which you'd never get away with now, but it was a guy just out a frame with a dog throwing it in the air.
Was that in the episode? I don't remember that.
Guy with a condom, I think Jimmy Martin, who played Eric, the lovely Jimmy Martin, was drinking a yard of ale, I think. And there was just, Ford was playing a harmonica. It was just mayhem, but it was utterly brilliant. And also, I think it was one of the first episodes I remember that we were all involved in, because I love that Naveed comes into the bar and orders a Goldie and then knocks back the drink and ping, his eyes just twinkle and a smile appears. And then he starts singing The Carpenters.
Yes. I'm on top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find. Mina!
Boof!
Serenade.
That host, she's like, what the hell's going
There's
on?
a question about creative freedoms in any episodes.
Most of it is so tight. A lot of the time we didn't really have to change anything or touch anything. Most of the time it's all there on the page. Ford and Greg are such brilliant writers, and they knew us so well that they knew how to write for us and how to play to our strengths, whether it be physical comedy or wordy stuff.
And this
a
happens
couple of times Paul and I did a thing that we loved, that we came up with, the episode of the quiz in the pub, and when Kate Dickey gives birth, and the final shot is from between Kate's legs, looking up at her, and Ford and Greg have been doing their medical course, and they're looking at her, and they go, "Oh Jesus!" and they go that way. They fall either side of their legs. They just go, like that. And it was Paul and I were standing at the bar. Was going, they fall and they reveal Paul. And then there's me standing behind Paul, and Paul said, "It'd be really funny if I went down." And then aye, and then if I went down, and we said to Ford and Greg, and they were like, "I do it. It'll only take seconds." So we got a couple of crash mats, and that's why we all go down like dominoes. They go that way, Paul goes that way, and then I go that way, and we made that up on the spot.
There's also there's also that thing of, you know, you read the script at the table read, and then 4 or 5 weeks later you might be filming it, right, whatever it might be. And the scene where everybody talks about this, where the leg goes out the window. Right? So what you've got there is that, so the leg goes out the window, but what you don't realise until the day you film it is the way the shot was set up. I was on the other side of the room. So now I have to hop right across the living room, which is, of course, gives extra laughs all the way. So that's another free laugh there. And we would constantly be doing that, constantly be doing physical stuff.
Especially in the live show, actually. And again, Paul, with his leg, you know, obviously having a real leg, he had it tied up all the time. And we found things that was...
There you go.
There was that thing when you walked and it was like the ding, 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 ding.
Oh, yeah.
That was really fun.
That was just pure accident.
That was accident.
There happened to be a wee kind of mandolin type thing in the rehearsal room, and I went, "Oh, hold on a minute," because originally in the script it was a guitar neck, and I went, "No, make it this." And so they went back and they remade the prop. And every time I took a step, it went ting, 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 like that. And it was just that. It was great. Free laughs,
It was brilliant.
Free laughs.
Well, unfortunately, we've only got 5 minutes left, but I know you guys have both been waiting very patiently. So let's go to the right, and then our final question will be to the left. But you go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name's Kit. I just wanted to ask, what was it like on the final episode of Still Game? Like, what were your feelings after the final episode got filmed?
Emotional sucker punch.
I mean, I think genuine. I mean, we'd done it for 17 years by that point, and I don't think. I mean, we knew that was the last series, so we'd had time to sort of process that. But when I know, like when we filmed the last, I know for my personally, we did all our fade outs. So what you guys see is obviously it's that beautiful Bob Dylan song. What's it called again? Doesn't matter. And there's a montage of us just fading away, so you don't see how we die. You just know that we die. And so it was a very innocuous thing where I'm just turning around sighing, and then I fade out. So they had this big, what do you call it, a jib, this kind of big camera on a thing, a trolley, dolly thing. And that's how they film it. So the thing moves very slowly and you move with it. So 3 or 4 takes of that. And then Michael, the director, you wouldn't normally say, he said on this occasion, "Look, do you want to see that back?" I said, "I'd love to see that back." And when I watched myself fading out, it was like, you know...
Oh, well, you pretty much seen it
First
on
thing
set.
I thought of was Back to the Future, actually.
Wow.
It was actually the first thing I thought of. But then I felt really, really sad because I still had to pay for my conservatory. But no, it was properly, even without the music, even just as a wee standalone shot without the montage, it kind of hit home then. And then, like Gav was saying, when we filmed the wedding episode, and we all spontaneously started dancing to Young at Heart when they were rehearsing, and just knowing that this is the last time we'll be together. And also, remember when we did the scene by Loch Lomond? Which again was one of the last scenes you see on air. And that was the last time all of us would be together for a scene, and we kind of knew it then. And you know, it felt properly sad. As much as I dislike these people, it was sad. It was sad.
The end for me definitely felt that time we were in Loch Lomond at night, filming at night, and it was all of us together. Obviously, the fade-outs were done separately and at different times and stuff like that. So that definitely was the night I was sitting going, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. And, you know, that'll be the last time we do this kind of thing. So that would be the moment for me anyway.
It was really poignant, and it was really quite emotional. A lot of things that kind of happened in some of our personal lives as well at that time, and it was really sad. But that same night, because this is what happened always in Still Game, and we were all sitting looking into the campfire, and it was quite serene, and just exactly where we were filming, a guy turned up and wanted to set up a tent right where we were. And they were saying, "Well, you can, because we're filming." And he said, "No, it has to be here." because this is a spot where I was conceived.
Oh.
How, remember that?
Yeah,
How
that's true.
random and odd is that? Why would you want to, and of all the forests and all the places he could have gone, this exact spot. So he stood and watched us. We left about 3 a.m, and then he set up his tent. So everything he ever did was odd.
I understand that, though. Sometimes I like to sleep in the toilets of the Burger King, and
It's just the way
I'm more of a garage man myself.
Weird.
And I found it sad, just as I kind of touched on earlier, was it was weird for me because it was a bit different for me, for everybody else, because Bobby survived. But the funny thing for me was I knew for a year and a half what was going to happen. I had to keep it a secret. And I found out by accident, because one day I was going to work with Greg, and I'd said to Greg, I think Bobby should start getting a wee bit of grey in his hair. It's just too dark. And everybody was taking less time to put makeup on for them because they're getting older. I was taking up most of the time trying to make me look younger. So, and Greg said, no, Bobby can't go grey, he can't get any greyer. And then he proceeded to tell me this story. This is how Still Game will eventually end, and Bobby will be alone in the Klansman, and he never leaves Craig Lang, and that's his fate. And I was like, oh my God. And
Never knew that.
I got a big lump in my throat and started tearing up. I still find it quite emotional, actually, to think that's the end. But when we came to do it, that day I turned up, nobody else was there, which was unusual as well. I get picked up alone, taken in, made up, walked onto the set, and hardly anybody would look at me. And everybody just kind of had their heads down. There was this eerie sort of respect. And we did it in one take, and we did one more take for safety. And before we did the second take, the makeup girl came in to check my wig, and she gently turned me around and put a hanky in my hand. And I kind of looked and went, what? And she just pointed to my face, and I was crying, and I didn't realise. And I still get kind of choked about it. And I get really emotional. And I started to cry. And when I came off, everybody was crying, like a continuity woman. Michael was crying, our director, and different people. It might have been I was just shite. But, I think it was just years of, thank God we don't have to work with him again. But and walked out, and Greg was standing, and he said, "But you crying, you prick." And he gave me an enormous big hug. And then when he let me go, I could see the tears in his eyes. And so it was really kind of like, oof. It was a big moment, actually. And a huge responsibility to know that it's the final thing that will ever be said, you know. So,
But the beauty of the show is, I think, what sort of sets it apart is it was never scared of pathos. It wasn't always about the joke. I mean, there's no jokes in that montage. It's about people passing on and about the last man standing. And Still Game always had that in the tank. And it's almost like it was paying off 17 years of goodwill from you guys, from the fans. You know, like saying, look, you've earned this. And there are people who say to me, how come you never see Mina's face? I said, have you not seen the last episode? And they say, no, because I can't bring myself to watch it. There are still people that haven't seen the last episode because it's too emotional for them.
Oh, I feel horrible. We don't have time for any more questions, but that just means you're going to have to go to their autograph sessions and actually talk to them, get a photo op.
I've got nothing left. I'm spent.
Get an autograph from the amazing cast of Still Game. Please give them a round of applause. Jane, Paul, Gavin, and Sanjeev. Thank you so much. That was so much fun. You guys are awesome. Keep it going for the cast of Still Game.
Yeah, she's never seen the show. That host
What an
lady.
amazing group. And of course, you can see them right here at Comic-Con Aberdeen today and tomorrow at their autograph booths.
Oh, my word. I apologise if there's anything that was said in there that either anyone's ever mentioned in a comment that I've forgotten, or if it was sort of repeated in the. Do you remember after I did the Still Game final episode, I did the thank you Still Game, you know, the thing that literally aired on TV literally immediately after the final episode. So yeah, there was a couple of them. So I was thinking that sounds vaguely familiar, which I might have read about it. Someone, like I said, someone might have put it in a comment or whatever in the past. You know, so all I can say with that is I have laughed more in that where people are just literally talking about the show and literally just having a bit of friendly banter backwards and forwards. I've laughed more in that single bit, that one single video, than I have for pretty much the entire last series of Rhapsody Nesbitt, which I'm so disappointed with because Rhapsody Nesbitt, I hope when I come back to it in the new year, I hope that I'm going to be able to think about it better. I'll say in the new year. No, I've still got one more episode actually to film, which will be the first one. First week of November, and then, like I said, I'm going to do a bit of a pause. However, of course, I am going to be doing. Actually, no, that's the thing. Technically, Rhapsody Nesbitt. Oh God, I'm getting so confused. Right. So this is the plan moving forward. So, obviously, next week it'll be the 2nd of November. So that is the day I will do Series 5, Episode 6 of Rhapsody Nesbitt. Also, on that day, about 5 o'clock, I'm actually going to do something new that I've never done, Scottish-related wise. It was a one-series show. I literally came across it the other day. I heard about it, and I thought, this sounds really intriguing. I'd like to see an episode of it. It was something you may remember, you may not. It was something that Alan Cummings was both a writer and a performer in. A show called The High Life, which was some sort of, I don't know, some sort of show which was a parody, I guess, on airlines and airline life. And it apparently features an airline called Air Scotland or something like that. So I'm going to do the first episode of that and just see how I feel with that. The week after, I'm going to do Series 2, Episode 4 of Chewing the Fat. Week after that will be 17th of November. That will be Burniston, the 3rd episode of that one. The following Sunday, which will be the last one before December, that one I'm actually not going to do something Scottish-based because A, it's my birthday, B, it's also Doctor Who's birthday, so it's going to be Doctor Who-related stuff on that specific day. And then, obviously, December, it'll be Christmas, so there will be a Rhapsody Nesbitt episode that will come out. It's the 1992 Hogmanay special, which I recorded ages ago, much earlier in this year. I think it was back about April time, I think I recorded it, if I remember correctly. So that one is going to be coming out. That will be the day before New Year's Eve, so the 30th of December. And then it'll be in the new year at some point, I will be bringing back Rhapsody Nesbitt with Series 6. Hopefully that little bit of a break gives me a chance to sort of refresh my mind a little bit and come back to it hopefully in a more positive mindset, and hopefully its quality is going to sort of pick up, you know. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this special still game. I don't know, retrospective fun thing. I don't know. So yeah, thank you if you've stuck with me to this point. As always, I love all of the still game support, and if we come across any potential more still game content, I will of course do it. I'm not going to lie. So until next time, thank you for watching. Subscribe, turn on notifications, drop the comments below, join the Patreon to get exclusive content, guaranteed reactions, and early access. But until next time, my name is Kevin. I am a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.